Here's an update on what I was working on. So, what I did was I started off with just this one file. So, here, these are all the headers at the beginning in a log IP that I just put together. Okay, so for some log IPs that y'all are trying to make, um, the number one was the date and the time in a specific format. So, what I did was I rewrote some of these values so that you can get the actual date and time correctly to output on the other side. So for some people say, well, what do you mean by output on the other side? Well, if you want to show your data processed on a raw data file like this, you want it to come out like this, right? So in order to show up your page like this, and be able to see all of this data, you see all of this data, you need a logger that can write like this, right? So what I did was I used PHP to write it out what I want it to do on this file. Okay, I'm not done with it yet. Okay, they the people who created this already to show this visualization, this will allow you to watch this in real time unfold. So you see this, you'll be able to watch it unfold in real time. Okay, so it'll create that file. If I go back over here, there's another file over here. It can create files like this also. But I have to do that. Another one is I have to go through a lot of Python because, well, since I'm doing this, I'm gonna have to do some other stuff too. Another one was people was just like, well, what else do you have to do? Well, there's another one. I believe it's called, where's that here? Examples. Yeah. So, in order to actually visualize, you see this visualization right here? In order to see this visualization right here, right, I have to convert that log into this, which is a canned graph. You see it? So, that means that I have to learn to change around this process. So that means I'm gonna have to go through all of this and make it do certain things, but I don't have to, it's already there. You see it? It replaces the format. You see that? So believe it or not, when I get done, you won't have to create a logger that does that or manipulates everything in order to make that work. But you can change the Python around into something else you want it to be, by the way. But as far as like this goes, what I'm doing is I'm creating a logger that creates that specific file so that you can actually watch that. Another one is if you hash out this, it will bring you to this page, which is like it's a chat. You see the chat opens up, but with this with this unhashed or uncommented, by the way, and I click save, it will bring you to the home page. So every time someone creates a word like date, it will just bring you back here. But if I comment this out, it will bring me here, and I can create words here like time. See? And you can watch in real time. Notice how I said date before, and now it says time on the log right there. So that's in real time that you're watching that, and it's JavaScript that's keeping it on interval. Now you could click start game to go to the home page. I would leave it like that so that way you can go through all of this and look through the visualization. People was like, well, how is it going to be real time? It's going to end up becoming a real time situation when I do this. Okay, so when, where's that? Okay, so we go to examples. You see this file right here? Well, if I can merge, in which I possibly can, if I can merge this file right here, you see how this converts everything over with using a Python file? All I gotta do is just turn this into a PHP file, and then this PHP file, combine it with, where's that? And then I combine it with the login, I mean this log. See, I combine it. Once I combine it, it creates this. And if it does it in real time, just imagine this. Okay, if it does it in real time, you're going to be able to watch this in real time unfold right here. Yeah, people searching. Oh, by the way, I put a feature in here really fast. So everything's on the top up here, by the way. These two buttons, this one right here that says search, and then there's this one right here that says create. These are two joysticks that are on here. So those two boxes right there, those are not just boxes, those are joysticks. I just haven't turned them into joysticks yet. This one joystick right here is to search. So if you were looking for a TV in the video game, it would show you a TV. See the background? That would be a TV when I get done with it. So for many of you going, oh, what is that? Why does it fade out everything? Because it's changing the video game into what you want to see. Like if you wanted to see playlist or about, wherever you move that joystick, it's going to show you it. Another one is create. People's like, what's the create button for? Or that joystick for? Because when you're, this is for look around. So the first one, search, is for your head, and then create is for your feet. So when you want to walk somewhere, you're creating a footprint, right? So you see the footprint, but the only thing is it doesn't change the background when you move your footprint. It moves down here, over here. See this? This is where that moves. So every time you move your feet, you're walking in the video game. You see it? It's a first-person shooter. Don't get it fucked up. So a lot of people go, oh, this looks stupid. It looks stupid now, but this is a first-person shooter, and you look at this three-dimensional world that you're staring at right now on your device. If I hold it up like this, it won't show you exactly what it looked like, but on your device, just think about what your video game would start to look like right now as a first-person shooter, and how hard it's gonna be. Now, people's like, well, what about the buttons? Do you see these buttons? Do these look like buttons that can't do what they need to do for the video game when you're shooting and you're running away from zombies? Anyways, getting back to what else I was saying. The created folder, this is where all of the pages go into. Every time you type in the word, it gets created and it puts it on this page. You'll see food on this page. But remember, all these words that are typed on there, those are views for how many times it's been seen or done. It's a cache. It's a SQL database. It keeps track of that word for that word. So there's a reason I have it like that, so that I can keep upgrading the video game into a more detailed video game with sound and everything. I've got the sound files on here. See the sound files? I already took it off of there before, but a lot of people wanted to know what that was. There's a site map. So if you want to see what the site map looks like, it looks like that in that folder. But close that out really fast. If you go in the top folder, there's another site map here, and this is what it looks like with all of this stuff. So now, I do have this thing where I don't like to have like certain things like other people's GitHub repositories in my shit, because I have to pay attention to the licenses. If you find a license in there that, says, hey, you can't put that on there, tell me so I can just completely remove it. If it's a license like I have a license, then it's okay. When you're looking at the site map, the reason I have the site map like this is because, well, the site map is going to be connected back to the first page. So down here, this is constantly editing this page and putting everything on there for a reason. You see this class right here? This class equals handle leads back to this JavaScript, and this UI, this ID equals list. So that list that you're seeing up in the corner up here, that's all blobbed out, and when you press TV, it changes everything, is connected right up in here. And that's not to mention the CSS that goes with it. Another one was, what's this one? The other chat is on there. So that third chat, it should be on there. Nope, it's not on there. Okay, so that third chat I got taken off of there. I'll put it back up there, but not right now. These are all search boxes. Remember, you can't change all of these. These are joysticks for the video game. So there's a reason I have it like that. Another one is the animation. You see the animation on there? That's going to come off of there, but I'm going to leave it on there for now. The reason I'm leaving it on there for now is for later on, because it shows me where the background is situated. So for a lot of you going, what do you mean the background is situated? Well, think about it. Right here it says background Earl. See the background? That's where everybody's always looking for the background, right? And then there's another one for that corner. So uh, give me an example. You see where you see where all those words are up in that corner? A lot of people are always trying to figure out where that is. Okay, so in the CSS file, it's in the CSS file. If you want to find the CSS for this website, or the JavaScript for this website, it would be right here. Handle handles all of those letters and where they're at. You see all those words that are in the corner? It's function by handle. What's another one here? The CSS. Okay, in the CSS, a lot of people are like, well, how do you know where that corner is? It's right here. It's the position of fixed top left is 0. That's how you know where it's at, but it's not that one. It's what do you call it? Which one I have it as? Right here. Handle. See, fixed. So for you all always trying to get to that top left hand corner, it's position fixed top 0 left 0. And that brings you all the way up to the top left corner. As far as like other stuff goes, that's a totally different story. You have to move all of that stuff around. I'll come back with another video to let you know anything else that's new that's going up on here. Another one is you can change your own robots. The reason I got it set to let robots in there is because there's no usernames, there's no passwords. People are not going to be chatting. They're supposed to be fixing it so it turns into a first-person shooter with your fingers. Okay, so we need the robots to go in there and fix things. And there's nothing to lose. There's no database, no nothing. It's a video game. It's developer mode, not production mode. We don't have to be professional in all this because none of this data is being saved as a database for anything. It's to play a video game. Here's another log right here. This log keeps a log of all of those words that go on all of those pages. There's a reason I'm doing all of this. Okay, this creates a database of its own without SQL. There is no SQL on here. So people going, for people asking me, oh, how do you keep all these words on there? And how do you keep them where you can click on a link every time I do it?
I think you need
to try. The
reason
is because there's no database. I'm creating the pages, keeping the pages in a folder, and creating a search for that. That's what I'm doing. Every word represents an object in the video game as if you're spawning it in. So if I, for example, I get to the video game, I type in table. Okay, so I type in table, boom, table spawns in. And the video game, when it starts up, now there's a table in front of me. You get what I'm saying? Now most people are like, this is visual data, right? Now if you look at this real fast, just think about this. Look at the how I'm visualizing the video game first before I build it. The character is sitting right there in front of you. You see the character? Now look at all of the things that we're building around the character. Okay, it's a first-person shooter. Now think about the database. You see the database? The database is up here. Look. Everything that we need, every page is right there. It's gonna make it go. Now you can add on it's gonna make the SQL database run a little bit better because this right here is creating its own logs that go with that anyway. But the tables are not the same. Everything's not the same. You gotta build it yourself, and that's what I'm doing. Very slowly building everything just right into perfection, so that it bakes in there and it does what it needs to do, and you can play your games. You can build all kinds of stuff with this. You can make your AI better with this. But I'm working on it. Give me a second. For some of the developers who already know how to build some of this stuff and they're already doing it anyway, good for you. Fork it, branch, and build it better than I do. That's what I'm building it for, so that we can fix things, not argue about who's better at what and who can do better than what. I don't got time for that. I'm just trying to fix it and keep it moving.